Here is my 7-day Fortnite controller to mouse and keyboard progression video. Here I jump into a new world and attempt to build for the very first time. I'd say the hardest part for me was figuring out where all my buttons were. I played a little bit of Minecraft on this computer before, so I have a bit of keyboard knowledge, but for the most part it was very hard, and as you can see by those 90s, I have to look down at my keyboard pretty much every time to figure out where my buttons were. Before making this change, I was a controller player who started in Season 5. I was pretty much the last person in my friend group to start playing, but I did not let that stop me. I wanted to improve, but without creative, it was quite hard. It was really in Season 7, during the Christmas holidays, that I started to really improve and come on top of my friends. With creative that had just been added, I could now really focus on different aspects of the game. On controller, I was best known for my building and my high ground retake. I was trying to be as much of a creative warrior as I could be. I was grinding and trying to improve, but from Chapter 2 moving forward, I felt like I had reached my limit. I was annoyed because I felt like everyone was getting better, and I, who had come a long way, had just stopped improving. I was very frustrated. After a lot of thinking, I decided I was going to get a PC and start from fresh on mouse and keyboard. I knew it was not going to be easy, but I was determined. It is now summer, and I'm ready to get on the grind. What you see here is my first day of practice. I got my good friend to join me, and I just started building and practicing my editing. The first thing I realized is use keybinds that are comfortable for you. It is important that you try and choose optimal keybinds, but being comfortable is key. In the first day, I must have changed my keybinds 15 plus times. But what I can recommend are 3 things. First off, it is extremely useful that you have at least 2 mouse buttons. They make it easier, and I personally bind them to one keyboard. You don't have to, as many pros do not, but it would really help you. Then, my second recommendation is that your editing bind should be either E or F, as your index finger is the quickest. Finally, you want to have scroll wheel reset. It is so beneficial. To do this, all you have to do is go in your keybind settings, and on your building edit, alongside your normal editing key, which for me is E, you put scroll wheel, and you also do that for reset building edit. This will help you a whole bunch. Here's a clip of how efficient and fast scroll wheel reset really is. For the rest of the day, I was basically just building and practicing my edits. All it is muscle memory. Once you get that down, everything gets easier. But on the first day, for me, that was the hardest part, getting used to my building and being able to do it consistently. On day 1, I played a total of 8 hours. I got decent at editing and was slowly improving my building. The hard part for me was that I was not very used to hitting my floor or roof binds, therefore it was hard to improve my building. I tried to bind these two to other keys, but ended up keeping them to C and X as they were my best option. The rest of my binds felt quite comfortable. On day 2, not much happened. I just continued to practice my build and my editing. The only thing that I realized is that my mouse buttons weren't working properly, therefore I had to order a new one. I ended up buying the Razer Death Adder Chroma. It's a great mouse for its price, buttons feel great, and it's quite customizable. I would definitely recommend this. The rest of the day, I just kept practicing and practicing. It is quite annoying and quite boring, but trust me, the first couple of days you really need to get down that muscle memory and get down these basic builds. It's boring being in creative and just practicing your buildings for hours, but what's even more annoying and frustrating is when you're playing a game and you can't even move or do anything, and before you know it, a sweat already killed you. But don't worry, we won't be building for the whole 7 days. This is just for the first 2 days where I'm going to be spending all my time in creative. The rest of the days, we are going to do box fights, zone wars, and even play a couple duos and squads with my friends. By the end of day 2, I'd played around 7 hours. My building and editing went better, but my mouse buttons were still not working well, therefore it was slowing me down. Other than that, I had found all my binds and was feeling pretty good. I was happy starting day 3 because it was finally time to get into box fight and practice with actual players. Now, one thing I realized is when you get into a box fight or zone wars or whatever you do that's competitive with other players, you feel like now you're choking everything. You can't do all these simple things that you did, and before you know it, you're always dead. Your reaction time has to be so much quicker than it was in your single creative world. Although frustrating at first, always getting killed and not being able to kill anyone, it's all part of the process, and really, box fight is the best way to get good close quarters. In the beginning, I was always bottom of the leaderboard, but as the hours grew, I started being able to actually kill people and grow on the leaderboard. You'll see in the first day of doing box fights, I averaged around 5 kills per game, but towards the end, you'll see I would do almost 20-25 kills per game. Like I said, the first day I was quite frustrated. It was hard and took a lot of effort, but what gave me determination was seeing the slow progress. It might have been slow, but it felt good. The rest of the day, I just continued doing box fights. I had lots of fun and felt very motivated. I was excited for day 4. So, by the end of day 3, I had played around 10 hours. I had quicker reaction time, I had improved my mechanics, and finally, I continued to improve my editing and building. With the power of Amazon Prime, I got my mouse on day 4. This meant I could finally now actually practice with a mouse that has working mouse buttons. On day 4, I just continued to play box fights. I was improving and I was having lots of fun. At this point in time, I felt quite happy about where I was in terms of progress. I could build well, my reflexes were pretty much there. I just needed a bit more muscle memory, but most of the essentials were down, which made me quite happy. The only thing I had to do now was just practice and practice and practice. But unlike just being in your creative world building, box fights is actually pretty fun. So it passed the time, and before you know it, day 4 was over. Day 4 was pretty normal. I'd played around 7 hours, my reaction time had improved, I improved my mechanics, and I was really feeling motivated. It is now day 5. After some warm-ups by playing boss fights with my friend, I finally hopped into Zone Wars.
No! Did you stop holding it?
I started off the Zone Wars with a lot of confidence. After my performance in box fights, averaging about 20 kills per game, I didn't think this would be much harder, but I was terribly wrong. I started off well, but by the end, I was extremely discouraged because I could not do anything more. I couldn't kill anyone, and I just kept getting killed. My confidence was really getting destroyed. I ended up spending the rest of the day just doing Zone Wars, but felt extremely discouraged. I felt like I was a low person in the group, and I really couldn't do anything. I had one game, one win, but after that, I barely could survive the first 2 minutes. I just kept dying, and I was extremely frustrated. I thought I would get better during the day as the day went along, but to my surprise, I just stayed in the same boat for the rest of the day. So instead, I decided to do duos with my friend, and I did not regret it. I had lots of fun and was happy to get out of creative for once. Day 5 and 6 were pretty similar. I'd played around 7 hours, and it was my first time playing pubs. I would not recommend playing pubs during day 1 or 2 and even 3, as you really will be frustrated with the results. My mechanics kept getting better, and finally I felt very happy with where I was. And now the final day, day 7, which I don't know what happened, but I was just on fire. So, to end off the video, first of all, it was not easy. I had spent 8+ hours every day grinding, trying to improve, and after 7 days, I'm quite happy with where I'm at. It was very frustrating at times, especially during day 4, even 5, since during those 2 days, I felt like I didn't improve that much, but for the rest of the time, it was very motivating. So, this was my 7-day progression. Let me know down in the comments if you want a 2-week and 3 weeks or simply just a 1-month progression video, and I'll make that happen. And also, if you want to follow along the journey, make sure to subscribe, and if this video motivated you or you just simply liked it, make sure to hit that like button, it would mean a lot. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.